Blackfeather lane is one of the weakest early game laners, and Saw capitalizes on that so well because he will just push those turrets.
I'm very surprised actually that Tribe banned the Churnwalker there, because it shows that they don't want it. They don't feel comfortable with the Churnwalker, because Churnwalker Saw is a combo we have seen work incredibly well, but the fact that they are not willing to leave that open, it says to me that they don't play it.
Absolutely right. I mean, we saw Rogue perform with that composition specifically, but it does say that they don't play it. Alpha, however, is something they play, and T-Tigers does incredibly well on it. TSM is forced, or was forced, to switch the Blackfeather into the jungle so that they don't have the lane matchup and in that carry role with the losing matchup. Kestrel and Lyra does come out as well.
Yeah, I think someone told them we were at risk of... I think someone told them we were at risk of falling behind schedule because they have just blown through this draft. Only 2 seconds of bonus time used between the two of them. That it is a very strong composition on both sides of the fold.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When you look at these picks, Saw is the only one that would maybe be considered off meta, but in recent history, I'd say Saw has definitely become a meta pick. So when you look at these two compositions, just power picks across the board.
Yeah, no, power picks across the board, especially when you're talking about Tribe. Saw is definitely meta for them. Blackfeather in the jungle can be abused. We talked about the matchup between these two junglers. Alpha technically has a stronger early game, but he does have Lyra on his side, and I expect TSM to play around Von C very well to try and help him survive throughout the early game. Going to be a very interesting one to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We know how aggressive Von C likes to play, and we know that when FlashX is on that Lyra, he likes to be aggressive too.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams are very aggressive squads, just in terms of their, regardless of who they're playing, and just the way that they play the game is very aggressive more often than not. So I expect the jungle to be heavily contested in this game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who's going to be able to focus on these Elder Treants towards the start of the game, because both Alpha and Blackfeather pretty good at stealing those camps away as well.
Alpha and Blackfeather both can last hit it very well. It's going to be about the players and how they use their abilities, because On Point does a lot of damage when you're a CP. Blackfeather, at the same time, Prime Directive is another last hitting ability on the side of Alpha. For me, also, another thing that's very interesting is the Kestrel versus the Saw matchup, because Kestrel can actually hold off against the Saw, especially if she lands Glimmer shots. So Saw needs to always remain behind his minions so that he has the protection with the body blocking. Very interesting, can go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the later stages of this game as well. If neither team really pushes too significant of an advantage in the early game, do we feel like either composition has a significant advantage when we get to 20-plus minutes?
It's not so much a significant advantage, but the game is definitely going to change, because now all of a sudden you have to worry about getting the Saw onto a target, onto the Kestrel. You have to worry about the Blackfeather diving onto the Saw heavily. So, and the way that the teams play is definitely going to change once we get a little bit later into the game, but I don't necessarily think it's going to give a heavy advantage.
Going into the late game, the Blackfeather and Kestrel will have the rage advantage, so Saw needs to take down turrets so that they're able to just snowball the game.
All right, we'll see if they can take those turrets down. Saw push turret. It's always the way it seems to go. Hashtag Vainglory 8. Let us know whether you're supporting Tribe or if you want TSM to take this one. It's time to pass it over to our casters and get into game 1 of our first semi-final.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Team Solo Mid versus Tribe. This is going to be a tasty little treat. I'm Humanist here with Dowsey, and we're ready to go. Dowsey, what do you think about these drafts right off the bat?
It's pretty interesting stuff going on. Dienzio has got himself a Saw. So, I mean, Tribe have been basically had to try a priority ban against them for the last couple of weeks here. I remember Zelsia yesterday complaining that, Rogue didn't get any Saw bans against them in the 3 matches they played Saw every time and picked it first time every time. But Tribe have it banned against them. So they're going to be pretty happy that they've got this Saw here. They believe in this composition. With an Alpha and an Arden, they're going to have a lot of protection and frontline threat. You have that Kestrel, which is going to be a little bit threatened by the Alpha Arden combination. We'll have to see if this Crystal Power Blackfeather, though, can provide enough poke with Kestrel to take down Dienzio.
Yeah, they're going to have to burst Dienzio down, and you imagine they can do it. There's a lot of damage output potential, but if anybody's absorbing some of those Glimmer shots, it can work out really well for Tribe. A bit of pressure being applied up in the lane as you expect. A nice little suppressing fire from range from Dienzio, applying Harass, also making sure that he's spun up continuously. And they're just shoving the lane right now. Black Feather rotating down into the jungle where you see T-Tigers kind of set up a scout trap down there.
Oh dear.
Gonna be popped off. That's not the best efficiency out of that. Now, T-Tigers, they're on to Von C with the Vanguard. This should be Von C going down right off the bat. He gets the on point, just bites him a half second. First blood comes through for Tribe.
That was really clever by T-Tigers, just sitting on top of the scout trap, meaning that Von C did face check the bush, then not only was he going to get a bit of extra damage from the scout trap, then he was going to be ready for the fight. This is a very hard early game for TSM to weather. The Alpha has so much base damage against the Crystal Power Black PVC Von C trying to stop T-Tigers.
Let's see, how's it going to play out here? This is a very aggressive T-Tigers against Von C. Von C already used that healing flask in the prior engagement, and he's going to go down one more attack. Oh, Sigil gives him a little movement speed in the heal, Dowsey, but Prime Directive connects. 267 damage on that one, and 2 kills coming through.
I mean, I was just saying it. Alpha's base damage makes the matchup super difficult for Black Feather. Von C, no fear, just fight. The motto so true as it rings in our ears, and unfortunately that means T-Tigers with a very huge gold lead over his jungle counterpart, and only that, a CS lead as well. T-Tigers just going to be living at the front and the back of Von C's jungle, trying to steal as much away in the next minute before the Crystal Sentry spawns. Not only is TSM losing on the jungle front early, the lane matchup is actually fairly difficult for the Kestrel as well. In the early stages of the game, before those Glimmer shots become super obnoxious, the Sorrow Blade is kind of where I say that's level 1 of the obnoxious level. Level 2 actually. Level 2 Glimmer Shot is level 1 of the obnoxious level, and then Sorrow Blade's level 2. And that's when Dienzio is going to really struggle to hold his ground. The Lyra should be able to heal Best Chuck in A, and the Glimmer Shot should be able to dissuade Dienzio from auto-attacking, but look at the damage to the turret.
Zio, he's just locked onto that turret. The Vanguard, he calculates the timing on that, and because Best Chuck didn't have the Glimmer Shots ready to go, he just stands his ground. Really impressive stuff. Max Green getting lit up a little bit there. He'll be okay as he dips behind those lane minions. You can tell that Zio wants to port out right now, but he's okay, I think, with that healing flask, right, Douse?
You'd think that the healing flask can provide enough for them to stick around, but remember there's a super amount of range that comes out of Kestrel's Glimmer Shots, and even Lyra's base attacks.
Is Swansea gonna die again? Oh, no! They turned it around! TSM actually rotating this time as T-Tigers into the Infinite Reboot, and that'll be TSM getting on the board.
That's nice stuff from TSM. Good rotation to keep Von C in this game. They can't allow this Crystal Power Black Feather to fall behind. He's a key part of their composition. You know, we seen a lot of Saw yesterday, but I guess I can recap in case anyone missed it. Saw struggles against compositions that can either burst him down via kite, or you know, burst him down via dive. And the composition we saw successful yesterday, as it looks like Tribe's just going to get a free turret, was the kiting composition that Hammers pulled out. It was a Celeste and an Arden to allow the Celeste to kite. Now, It's a little bit different here from TSM. They've got major poke here, and I don't think they're going to be looking to heavily kite the Saw, but you know, they can do so with the Lyra. The idea is that once this Crystal Power Black Feather hits a power point of level 8, the on point gets extended range, they can just burst down Dienzia with 2 of their abilities.
Woo! T-Tigers jumps in, it's Von C right back the other way. A nice bright bulwark down there by Flash, kind of preemptively predicting that Prime Directive was going to come out. Now boots forward by T-Tigers, trying to get onto Best Chuck. He applies the damage, Prime Directive, oh, just off the mark. You can tell that was very close to landing. These guys are just about to pop Best Chuck if they can actually get on top here. But Tribe march forward as a unit, just kind of lumbering down this lane very slowly as we see. It's just saw push turret, saw push lane.
Not only that, look at what's in T-Tiger's inventory. It's a Aftershock completed, huge power spike to the Alpha, and T-Tigers has himself a Crystal Power Infusion ready to go. So Tribe are desperately looking to try and make a play around this power spike of the Alpha. They haven't really had the opportunity to do so yet, but T-Tigers may just find himself marching back to lane after he finishes these backs. What they have to be careful about is the fact that TSM, with this Kestrel now with a Sorrow Blade in inventory, actually have a lot of anti-push ability. The wave clear on the Kestrel's Glimmer Shots allow for them to push Dienzio back and actually poke from range as well. So T-Tigers and Max Green basically going to have to find an engage soon, and Max Green's about halfway to his gauntlet. And that's going to be a pretty key point for Tribe to be able to engage onto this fairly kite-ish composition from TSM.
Ooh, Tiggs missing the Prime Directive there. Zio, he's going to get spin up, and they start up the gold miner here. Tribe starting a potential engagement. We're going to see TSM moving forward. Oh, nice prime directive onto Flash, but Flash has the healing. He's going to be okay. That was a self-fountain use, of which maybe we can talk about the fountain in a little bit, Dowsey. He doesn't always go for this item. Now, prime directive in, the Vanguard onto Tiggs. He's on the best Chuck. The Kestrel dropping low. Zio is on the gold miner. That's Kestrel down, and Tribe also going to be getting an immense gold payout, 347 gold each. A big win for Tribe there.
Yeah, no, like we mentioned, that Tribe needed to find engages, and so if they can't force an engage onto TSM, then they can kind of do the opposite and force TSM to engage onto them, and that's how the gold miner baited TSM into the fight. Like you mentioned, there is the fountain for Flash X. He sometimes goes Crucible, but another team fight here, Humanist.
Gauntlet down. Nice bright bulwark again from Flash. You can see now turret starting to do damage. Max Green dropping low. And this is D'Enzio just locked onto the turret, but down in the jungle, Von C. He's on Tiggs, but Tiggs is right back in the lane. He's just right back and forth. You can't keep track of this alpha. That termination protocol means he stays in place there, rebooting currently. Zio taking a lot of damage, gets the Vanguard, but look at the damage coming out of this Kestrel. Best shot. Takes Zio down. Now Tiggs, low, does not have the ultimate available. He's going to try and juke and dive out of here, but he will go down. We're 3-3, about 8 minutes into this one.
That front treant had just spawned. T-Tigers wasn't sure if it was worth his while using the Prime Directive as an attempted escape and hesitated. If he had gone for it, then there was the potential, but we won't necessarily know for sure. Like you mentioned, the fountain here, we'll talk about it because I think it's fairly important because on 2.9, Flash X has kind of set a precedent, a meta shift that Lyra's build Crucible first item. He's not even gone Crucible second item against the lockdown of a Gauntlet here. It's the Atlas prioritized against D'Enzio's Saw here, and the Fountain's super important against the Saw as well. Vonsi finds D'Enzio.
Vonsi found D'Enzio, but now Max Green and Zio ready to trade. This is a lot of burst damage starting to come out of Vonsi at this point. You know, he started slow, but starting to turn things up here as we get past the early portion of this game. Flash is down here with Vonsi. One shot will come out, not quite connecting as Max Green moving up towards the lane with Tiggs. You can tell Tribe pretty much setting the pace of this game.
Yeah, they are, and Best Chuck's been caught out by a Alpha. Good usage of the active camera gets him to safety inside TSM's safe hands now. It's a Dragon's Eye for Von C, looking to try and stack up on this this CP Blackfeather. It means that he has to be in auto attack range if he wants to maintain his stacks. The on point cooldown is about 3 seconds, and when you have a Dragon's Eye, you need to maintain yourself in combat. And if you drop out of combat for 2.5 seconds, you drop your stacks rapidly. So it's going to have to be up close and personal. Another gold mine started. Prime
Directive in before the board. This time, Tiggs getting lit up, but Zio's taking down Best Chuck. Tiggs is going to reboot here, and they'll be on the chase. Tribe looking for Flash, but Von C still capable of doing a lot of damage. Zio, he's on the gold miner. Von C, Rose offensive over top of Max Green. How's this going to play out? Suppressing Fire comes down. Von C trading with the on point, keeping himself alive. I'm very surprised that Von C is still here. Prime Directive in. Actually, should I have been surprised? It's Von C. No fear, just fight. Humanists, you're so stupid. Von C chases forward. He's going to be getting Max Green just a matter of time here. Max, little Ella giggles with the self Vanguard, buying some time, but 5-4 as TSM find a couple kills.
Yeah, like we talked about, Humanist, if Von C wants to make this Dragon's Eye work, he has to stay in melee range and not drop stacks. So every time it looked like Von C was about to drop stacks, he went back in, and to your surprise, to maybe everyone's surprise, that he was so confident to stay in that fight, he was able to build up those stacks, get a lot of damage. Oh my god, D'Enzio!
Hello! Zio just destroyed Best Chuck. Now looking for Flash X booty. He's on the chase. Oh, but this is the on-point Von C with the faint heart onto Zio. But this is the Prime Directive. Hello! You cannot take down my teammate Saw. My name is T-Tigers.
This is why Saw is banned against Tribe every draft here, Humanist, because D'Enzio is a god on it, and he's shown that he is a threat every game. A second turret going to go over to Tribe here. They are winning this macro game so easily. You know, the desk already touched upon this, Humanist, but let's just reiterate it. This is such an important matchup for TSM at the moment because of the fact that they are sitting 1 point behind Rogue, and Rogue are going up against the bottom-seeded North American Vainglory 8 team. Tribe, a very tough opponent, but if TSM want to go to Worlds, then they have to overcome them, and then they have to overcome potentially Rogue in the finals as well.
What a road. What a road on the way to that world spot. And it's incredible to have this competition right now in the North American Vainglory scene. It looks like we're going to have a little more action right now. Dowsey down in the Tribe Rush. This is TSM aggressing onto Tribe. Dienzio spun up. He's moving forward with the Vanguard. He's on to Vonsi. Vonsi just gets deleted. Look at Zio. Stutter stepping all over TSM. Active Camo buying a little bit of time. Best Chuck stepping back. Zio's like, you got this, team. I'm on to Gold Miner. Tig's locked on, and he'll find a double kill coming through. That'll put Tribe up 8-5 about 12 minutes into this one. They're going to get the Gold Miner as well. Wow.
This is crazy. Tribe have just taken over the pacing of this game, and it's going to be another objective going their way as the Crystal Sentry will lose its life here. 12 minutes into this game, Dienzio has prioritized crit. We talked about Serpent's Mask versus crit builds here on a Saw. I'm a huge advocate of the crit build on Saw because of the amount of damage you can quickly do. Once you've spun up,
Oh, yeah.
you just dish it out. It's insane. Another thing to talk about is the fact that Max Green has just picked up an Echo on this Arden. He's going to have double gauntlets going down, and there's only one reflex block on the Halcyon Fold for TSM, and that's in Best Chuck's hands. Of course, you have Rose Offensive. Vonsi can be using that to escape CC. FlashX has a Dragonheart in his inventory, but it's just been converted into a Wall Tread, so he's going to have to use his portals, essentially, to get Best Chuck in A out if the reflex block can't position him correctly enough. TSM may be in a bit of trouble in these next coming teamfights.
All right, Bulwark's on cooldown. I was wondering about how Flash was intending to use that Atlas Pauldron, if he was going to be aggressive with the Arcane Passages to get onto Saw, but it's kind of awkward. This is the sigil down, TSM chasing forward. Tig's dropping low. He's into Infinite Reboot. Didn't even use the Termination Protocol here. Interesting decision. Tiggs jumps back in. Zio spun up. Gauntlets down. How's this going to play out? Flash with the Arcane Passage. Best Chuck is a stand his ground, but he goes down to Zio. Zio's able to take one. Alpha takes the second. Flash X, he'll be chased down with that Prime Directive. I don't think he gets out of it here. He's got a lot of mobility once he boosts himself with that sigil, but this is an Alpha we're talking about. That's the ace for Tribe in a beautiful fight.
Yeah, really nice stuff from Tribe. It was almost just a bait. T-Tiger's going down into his reboot, and TSM felt a little bit confident that they could take down the Alpha before the team fight began. It's a nice win condition for them. If they can remove T-Tigers from the fight immediately, then getting onto Dienzio becomes a lot easier. However, Tribe just immediately dived on in there to make sure that this Alpha wasn't in trouble, and the great gauntlet setup from Max Green. Vonsi wants to fight.
Vonsi wants to fight. He's found a fight here. You can see Zio once again going for that gold miner, but he switches over to Vonsi. Now Zio spun up, moving forward. Best Chuck wants to find the damage, but he can't really trade with Zio when Zio spun up and can see him right there. And you see it, look at the crit coming through. 565 damage, Dowsey. I see why you like the crit build on this Saw. Everybody take note. Flash, Arcane Passage over the wall. He should get himself out of here. Uh-oh. They're like, oh, well, you know, we can take this Arcane Passage too. A little Vanguard over the wall for Max Green. Onto Zio. Zio spun up, looking to find a target. Von C's just playing games here with the on point from max range over the wall. Pretty good damage. Jumps in with the Faint of Heart. How is this going to play out? Another on point. Von C, Rose Offensive. You made a mistake there. Von C pays for it. Goes down. Zio mostly spun up, fully spun up at this point. Crystal Sentry. It's just getting delivered right to their waiting mouths. Tribe moving forward. 15 minutes in. Look like they can maybe close this one out here. T-Tigers. He's on to the Vein Crystal turret. This is Dienzio getting lit. Nice glimmer shot. Zio dropping so incredibly low. Probably below 50 health there. Best Chuck, one attack. Can he get it? No. In fact, T-Tigers is locked on. That's pressing fire. Zone him out. Best Chuck stepping back. Active camo, allowing him to be elusive through that fight there. Very close to finding a kill. One shot will come out. It's not going to be really finding anything. And I think Tribe able to get out of this one. Was Von C's catching someone with an on point here? No.
This is very difficult for TSM. Them not being able to set up the team fights the way they need to. TSM want to kind of have a bit of a slow start to the team fights, and Tribe want to go fast and furious, and so far it's been working out for them. They need to either blow up Dienzio or T-Tigers. Either one works for them, but both are playing very, very well. T-Tigers very tanky with his build, almost has finished his second tier 3 defense item, and Dienzio's positioning has made him such a hard target to focus on. Let's not forget Max Green has been the protector of all protectors. TSM, they want to start a fight around this Kraken.
Now Zio spun up, Prime Directive in here. Gauntlet down, will stun up Flash. Flash taking big damage. He'll be able to reposition and get himself out of there. Got a nice stun from Best Chuck. Second Gauntlet going to come out. T-Tigers on to Best Chuck. This is Zio trying to find the damage on Vonsi, but Vonsi is very elusive. He's out of here. T-Tigers will miss the Prime Directive. Continues to chase. Nice rotation around from Best Chuck to find a kill, but Zio, he is doing mad damage, finds one himself, and T-Tigers will chase down Vonsi. You have to imagine he's going to be able to take him out. There you go. Didn't even need the termination protocol, but a nice play anyway. An ace coming through for Tribe.
Yeah, and what's this? Dienzio says, let's just finish. I'm Saw. Saw push turret. T-Tigers thinks he's a jungler, so he's going to take the objectives. This would have been a finish if they both went. It's only going to be one crystal turret going over to Tribe here. They will get the Kraken for themselves, you would think. There is a potential still opportunity. The one shot from Best Chuck, if timed correctly, blind, might be able to find the steal. It would be pretty impressive
Go
stuff.
Chuck! Pretty good timing.
Pretty good timing, a little bit late. But that last team fight so split out, and T-Tigers landed a blind Prime Protocol, Termination Prime Directive, there we go, words are hard.
We got it.
Over the wall onto an invisible Kestrel, which caught Best Chuck out and just split the entirety of TSM up. I thought that the split of TSM might have been enough to be able to find the kill onto Saw, but unfortunately Vonsi just couldn't do it. And as soon as Dienzio got in range of that Kestrel, it was all over. Here we go.
Nice Prime Directive then. Vanguard down onto T-Tigers. He'll go ahead and back himself up, waiting for Zio to get in range here to start dishing out some damage. Meanwhile, TSM chunking away through the Kraken. Kraken starting to get taken down here. Zio getting lit up. A couple glimmer shots coming through. He's threatened. His life is in danger, but Best Chuck is as well. Best Chuck repositions back. The Gauntlet down. Prime Directive onto Best Chuck. Second Gauntlet locks all of TSM in place. Max Green playing pretty much out of his mind, just allowing Zio to do whatever he wants here. Zio even taking the Arcane Passage pretty much onto the healing platform. His Tribe are going to be taking game one. What a dominant performance.
What a dominant performance, and what an upset to the TSM fans here. They are rooting for their team to go to Worlds at the moment, Humanist, and a 1-0 scoreline to Tribe is not what they wanted to have start off this series. But hey, Tribe, they also want to go to Worlds here, and they're not out of the running just yet as well, Humanist. So taking down TSM in this game is a great start for them. They can make it a clean 2